A killer who's after only virgins. It's time to pop some cherries. It's 31 Days of Horror, and it is day 9, and we are watching Cherry Falls. I'm with my guest, Audrey Nightmare, our horror bestie. What's up?
What's up, dude? That's a fucking intro.
What made you want to pick Cherry Falls off the list?
Well, I gotta say, Brittany Murphy, full stop. I wanted to see it because I know she's an incredible, or was an incredible actress. I saw her in Don't Say a Word and Girl Interrupted, and she brings a lot of like insane emotional range. So I was curious to know more about the character that she was gonna play. She brought me to the film.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this movie before, and when I saw her on the poster, I was like, a Murphy movie I've never seen? But yeah, now we're here, and now we have this very interesting movie to talk about. So the story is pretty much Jodie, played by Brittany Murphy, is in a small town when suddenly a serial killer starts murdering a bunch of kids. The sheriff finds out that apparently the serial killer is targeting virgins, and he tells the community that maybe the kids should start banging each other, and they won't be targeted by said killer. Pretty much the gist of the story.
For a horror film, specifically a slasher film, it kind of goes against every horror rule, right? Like it's always the virgins that stay alive. So for them to sort of say like you gotta lose your V card was pretty funny. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what?
Did you feel like when they were making this movie that they knew how goofy their premise was, or do you feel like a little bit of them were making a serious film and then they're just like, wait, there's something silly about this? Because I felt at some moments of the film it was very serious and it was trying to take itself like a normal like slasher movie, but then there's just some goofy dialogue and there's just some campy scenes. I'm just like, I don't know if this is 100% serious, but
Felt that too. And then I did a little research on this film, and it turns out that the director actually wanted the movie to be more satirical. And I guess the studio pushed back on that because they wanted it to be more dramatic. And I think that's what we were witnessing as an audience was that power struggle between what the director visualized versus what the studios wanted. If they really would have leaned more into that satire, I think it really would have found its sort of groove. Because it was like, if you think about it, this film is so fucking ridiculous. Like telling kids that telling teenagers that they have to lose their V card in a serious way just felt a little off to me.
yeah,
You know what I
like
mean?
when the sheriff comes to talk to Jody and he's like, "So what have you done with your boyfriend? Have you been kissing him?" I'm like, "What?" And I don't
Yeah.
know about you, but there was a little bit of a weird relationship with him and his daughter. Like he falls on top of her. I was like, "Am I watching an anime right now?" Or they're like, "Oh, excuse me, sorry." I'm like, "But that's your kid. What's going on here?"
Dude, all the adults in this film were so weird. In my notes on this film, I literally put, the mom is weird. Like, Brittany Murphy's mother was bizarre. I was like, are we gonna get more backstory? Like the scene where she was like flirting with her boyfriend in the car, like with the cigarette, and she's like, let me have one of that, like, let me have a puff of that cigarette. I was like, wait, what? What is
And then
happening
like
here?
the principal as well with the like secretary looked like a
Yep,
student. I'm not 100% sure if it was a student or like what, but she was definitely younger than him.
totally. Like it was just everything about this was so off. And I think like they missed the mark there by trying to make it this like dramatic, dark slasher movie. You know, like they really should have just listened to the director on this one. Fucking studios.
Yeah, that's what I always hate about movies is when like you can really tell that the studio interferes with something, and it's like maybe this movie would have been better, maybe this movie would have sucked more, who knows, but we got what we got because the studio wanted to interfere.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is one of the who done it type of slasher movies where you're trying to find out who exactly is behind the mask, but in this sense the wig. My only problem with this is, even though it is kind of leaning towards like the more Scream type of vibe of like who is the killer, because they are hiding their face throughout all the movie until the end. My only problem is the killer's design is just boring. It's just like, it's just a wig. It's just like you're supposed to think it's a girl or a lady till the very end. We get revealed it's the teacher, but it's just like they're trying too hard to hide the face in the wig, So it's like, I feel like they should have put a mask on at least. So then they're not trying to work with angles to hide the killer's
Yeah,
face.
I think they were trying too hard to be like a Norman Bates, you know? And like people who understand story structure or like understands where these types of movies go, like I called it from the fucking jump. I literally said in my notes, I was like, teacher's weird. I said, it's definitely the teacher. He's connected. He's someone's son who was hurt. He's weird AF. And like when the reveal came, I was like, yeah, obviously, because the teacher was weird and he was so weirdly invested in the students and Brittany Murphy's character. Like he was
Yeah, they
all
were
like,
very flirty.
they were so flirty. It would have been nice to have more distance, right? Like to not have the teacher be so involved in the film. I think having that separation would have had the reveal hit a little harder. You know what I mean? But because he was so much and then coupled with his insane interest in like who she's dating and like what's going on with the kids and like that whole scene in the classroom was fucking weird. Like these
Yeah,
kids.
he was just like, so have you heard anything new about the murders? Like he was overly
Yeah,
invested.
totally. Yeah, he's like, so what have you heard about this killer?
And
you know, it's like, oh, bro,
the
you're
other
obviously
thing in
fishing.
movies I'm not a fan of, it's not their fault, but it's like when they hire an actor that's known or like known for playing a bad guy, you're just like, okay, we know who you are. You're always playing a bad guy, or you're playing a weird character normally. You're probably the killer. And I hate when that's always the dead giveaway, which irritates me.
I'm like, you're contractually connected to this project in a way where you've got to be a major plot point. Like you're so well known as an actor, you have to be the killer.
Like the movie Thanksgiving from Eli Roth. Like I knew who the killer was. I'm just like, you guys only have a couple people, and it's one of you because you guys are all the main faces. Like it's not gonna be some random person that we've never seen. It's very rare when movies do that. When like the killer gets revealed and it's like a character that is like either hardly ever seen or like a non-known actor, and you're just like, it's the janitor character that we've never seen really. But I mean, to be fair, those are like, I feel like more interesting because then you're not just like, it's him, because he always plays a bad guy.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I was hoping that this movie was gonna prove me wrong, but it just proved me right. I was like, oh fuck, obviously. And it's this like weird Norman Bates guy. Like it was just trying a little too hard to like tip the hat to Alfred Hitchcock and like kind of miss the mark there with that. Yeah.
So we don't get too many kills in this movie, and like it did have like some weird editing that they were trying to do. Like when they kill the kids in the beginning with the car, it's like this like glitchy editing that they were doing. I'm like, what are you doing? It's hurting my brain. A lot of the kills I feel like were pretty tame, and like most of the blood was more so during the crime scenes, like when the sheriff shows up. That's when we see a lot of the blood. Like the girl, you know, she opens the door and gets her head smacked in, but we don't really see her die. It's more at the crime scene we see all this blood everywhere. So when I watch a slasher, I want to see people get, like, I want to see death. I want to see, you know, them get stabbed and, you know, throats get slit and blood spraying everywhere. I don't want to just be like, oh no, I'm dying, and the next scene they're just dead.
Yes. Well, so again, I did a little research on that too, because I was like, it's marketing itself as a slasher and it's not giving the people what they want. And apparently the MPAA had originally slapped this movie with an X rating for sexual content and violence. Like apparently the OG cut of this movie took it there. And then it eventually got trimmed down. And then of course with the trimmed down version, it really just sort of changed the tone completely.
I really do wonder how certain movies would have turned out if we get to see the original cut.
Yeah. I think it's like a lot of times these people in suits that don't have a creative bone in their body are making creative decisions, and they're so concerned about audience perception that they just don't let the movie live in its space and like let the audience decide. Like they're so scared. And I think that's what is exactly what happened here. There was a lot of pushback on violence in films because and also with like video games as it pertains to like violence with kids, and people at the time were blaming entertainment for the demise of what's happening in society versus like we should be blaming the fucking parents here and how kids are being raised. Like entertainment is just a reflection of what's happening.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand them toning it down, especially after that. But I don't know. It just sucks that we have to censor movies just for BS reasons.
Yeah, I mean the censor people, they really just They have it out for horror. Like I think if a movie like this was made today, I think the director would have gotten the version that he would have wanted. I think that before all of the cuts and the edits that the MPAA had originally slapped this movie with, I think we would have gotten exactly what this movie should have been.
Yeah.
It's
So,
so true. And
another
like,
funny thing that happened in this movie, amongst the plenty of funny things, is after the sheriff pretty much tells the parents what's going on, the kids get a whiff of it, and they're like, "Sex? We have to have sex?" And they decide to host an orgy party at an old barn to rid themselves of the fact that they are gonna die. And they're like, if we have sex with everybody or whoever we
yeah.
pick, this killer's not gonna kill us. It's like, what?
Yeah. No, well, yeah, it's like the town's solution to this was like, let's just go tell the teens that they've got to have sex immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
And then we get like the most awkwardly long toe sucking scene with Brittany Murphy, and I'm just like, what is going on?
literally, I was like, well, and then it's revealed, right, that the boyfriend is gay.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, so that was their way of saying like that he didn't know how to get down. It was like, let's have him worship her feet because that's all he knows how to do with a woman. Like, what?
I don't know, but yeah, it was funny. And then like that poor guy who like put cologne on, and that girl's like, "What's that smell?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm wearing cologne." He's like, "Oh," and then that other girl who's like has it in for him for whatever reason, she's just like, "I like your smell."
Yeah. I would imagine that the scent is like what's that from what is it, Anchorman? Sex Panther?
Yeah, something like that.
Have you seen that? And someone like goes running by him and is like, "You smell like Bigfoot's dick." Like I imagine that's what that smelled like in that moment. And then of course, you know, someone fell in love with the smell and they're like, "I like the way you smell." I was like, "Oh my, who wrote this?"
Isn't the girl that liked his smell, isn't it the Brittany Murphy's friend in the movie who was like obsessing with him?
I think so, yeah.
It was so weird though too, like when she's obsessing with him at the cafeteria, and he's like the weirdest dude. He's just like playing with his food, and he's just like eating all awkwardly, and she's like, "He's so hot." I'm like, what are you seeing, girl? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm like, are you good, girl? Like, we get this is a small town, but like, how small?
Go talk to him.
How slim are your pickings? Because that's the guy you're going for.
What is your opinion on, but when main characters have plot armor where they're like they should die or they should get a lot more injured than they do, but the killer for whatever reason just does not want to like finish them off? Like when she was in like the lab, there's no way that she should have gotten out of there alive, and he just like barely hurts her. And I get it, they had a connection at the end of the movie, but I'm just like, why are you coming after her if you're not going to kill her? Why are you threatening her with a knife if you're not going to kill her?
Yeah. Well, I think in particular, I think it was like because he really just wanted to show her who her dad really was. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't necessarily think his motive
was the killer in that scene.
No, I think it was like, what can we do to show you that your dad is this guy who you idolize, whose character is fucking weird, is a rapist. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the real gist of it. And maybe I don't know, maybe I'm adding too much color to the film, but that's what I got from it. Because you're right, like I think horror films nowadays understands that the audience wants realism. So like if someone's tied up and they're, you know what I mean? It's like we want to feel that anxiety of the character and feel that fear. And what better way to do that than to show the violence that's happening to our lead, you know, because now we as the audience feel unsafe. Are they going to make it? Or are they not? To your point, I think maybe that's what was happening. I think that's what his character wanted to show. Brittany Murphy's character was like, I'm not here to hurt you. I think until she's you. Yeah, exactly. I'm here to scare you. I'm here to show you that your dad's a monster. And I think that's what it was. But then she started fighting back, and then fighting for her father, which was like, girl, what? Yeah. Like the whole way.
I think the interesting thing, the parallel between this movie and to bring it up again, Lesson of Evil, is in Cherry Falls. So when the dad goes to Laura Lee's house, it's completely run down, disgusting looking, creepy looking. There's chains everywhere, right? And it's interesting how certain movies show off these killers' places, right? Because in Lessons of Evil, the teacher killed his parents, and he's a complete psychopath, right? And in that movie, he's also living in a rundown, gross-looking house. So it's really interesting how we're seeing two psychos who are deciding to live in a completely rundown house. When the sheriff goes there, obviously he knows, you know, he messed up. He knows the story. Obviously he's involved with it. You know, and the town talking about how they needed to cover up, you know, what happened between the father and his buddies and how he got forced onto her and yada 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 and all that stuff. When they revealed that, you know, pretty much the killer is the rape baby, I don't know how you want to say, but like the baby of the situation that happened with the father, what was your reaction to that?
So really quick, to your point about the sort of dilapidated house, I love it when we're able to see where these monsters live, you know? And I think like it's a testament to the set design because they're able to sort of showcase the decay of not only in the space in which they live in, but their mind. You know, it's like when you have like killers who live in a very meticulous, like clean house, you're like, oh shit, like they're like on it. Mm-hmm. Whereas like when someone is living in a decrepit space, you're like, oh, they're unhinged. Their brain is rotted, you know? So I liked the set design with that. It felt very Texas Chainsaw Massacre to me. It felt very like Ed Gaines to me. You know, it was like, oh, this guy's living in, or this, you know, this guy, yeah, is living in filth. And he's probably been brought up in filth this whole time. And I sympathized with his character. I think like the revelation that he was a product of such a horrific crime. And then, you know, his mother, who was a victim, ended up turning out to victimize her own son. My heart broke for him. And I felt like having watched it in 2025, a movie that was made 25 years ago, it's like, I wish we would have gotten a little bit more sympathy for the villain because he's a villain because of what happened to him. So I felt bad for him. I mean, now did he like have to go and dress up like his mother and murder like virgins? I don't know about that. Why murder the virgins? Why not murder people who
the chads, the douchebag jocks?
Yeah, I'm like, why are you murdering literal virgins? They haven't experienced anything. Let them live, you know? Like go for the people.
That was a big problem with me. It was like, okay, I get that you're like killing people because you're mad about what happened to your mom, which is valid, but kill the bad people. Like kill the people who are like deserve to be killed. Go after the three guys who were involved with your mom's incident. But like going, or you know, you're a teacher, right? Because we didn't know he was a teacher, but you're a teacher, you know the ins and outs of who the bad guys are. You know, oh, you know, Kyle, the douchey jock, he's a you know, a serial, you know, douchebag who is a ladies' man who is probably doing some bad stuff. Kill him. You know, Veronica is, you know, like doing some horrible stuff. Kill her. He knows these bad students, so target them. That would have made more sense. That I would have been like, okay, even though again killing's bad, but that would have made more sense for your motive instead of like, hi, virgin who's not doing anything bad.
Totally. Exactly. Yeah. I wanted him to be like an anti-hero. You know, I wanted him to like to your point, like maybe kill the people that, you know, get proper vengeance and kill the people that did this. They're still cohabitating in this town. You know, it'd be a way more interesting story when all of these prominent figures in this town start slowly disappearing and ending up found in a horrific manner, right? Like that would have been a more compelling story. Like what's happening? What's going on? And then it's the reveal, you know, that these people did something wrong, you know? That would have been more interesting to me. And it was very like, I don't know, indicative of the time, you know, like during American Pie and like all those movies, you know, it's like it kind of leaned more into like, how can we make this sexy? And like, oh, I know, sex. Like let's say that all the birds gotta lose. I think they could have done.
Interesting enough, the only nudity we got in the whole movie was during the autopsy scene. But I mean, you said the movie was X-rated, so they probably did have a lot more.
So true. Like I want to see that original movie. And I also researched that. I was like, well, are they going to recut this and give us like the OG version? And apparently the studio lost the original footage. So We're never going to see what they were originally working with.
AKA, it's probably in
unfortunately,
some filing cabinet collecting dust somewhere that they don't remember where they put it.
which is such a bummer.
So the ending, which is pretty over the top, goofy, campy, dude getting yeeted off the banister, getting stabbed through the chest, and then the cop just double whammy shooting him with two guns, not one gun, but she just, that was great.
I love a good overkill. I was here for it. I was like, finally, some action. Well, and again, I wonder if like that's what I think the director. I think maybe that was his way of sort of bringing in that satirical vibe that he wanted from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like it was so over the top. I think the whole movie should have been that way. You know?
I mean, it definitely
And
had
what-
sprinkles of it throughout the movie, like where I'm like, okay, this could be definitely funnier, and I feel
Yeah.
that they want to go in that direction, but then they stop, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're back
Yeah.
to semi-serious movie going on. If it definitely leaned more into its campiness, and if the kills were a little bit better, and if the slasher person wasn't relying on a wig, and then again we fixed the issue of him going after a better target,
Yeah.
this movie would
Yeah.
have been so much better in my opinion.
I agree. But I think like, you know, for the time and based off of where people were at that time, I think they did the best they could.
Yeah. So, what would you give this movie out of 10?
Well, you know, I hate giving ratings because I think to make any movie in this town is hard and kudos, but I think I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. And that's being like really generous. It's not great, but it's definitely interesting. I think it's campy. I loved Brittany Murphy. I thought she was fantastic. She was just such a great actress. And I think she made this movie the best that she could, you know, given the script that she was, you know, working with. I would rewatch it for her performance alone. I think she really carried this movie with charisma and chaos. You know, I think some viewers might watch this and frown on sort of the old classic tropes and the sexualization of these like teenagers. I don't think it would fly with a lot of people today. But I think overall, like Cherry Falls is a fun watch and is a kind of a twist on some old slasher tropes. So like if you're just like looking for something to like pop on in the background, spend the $3.99 to watch this.
It's so funny that you like literally, I shit you not, literally look at my score. The same. So funny. I'm like, oh, what is she gonna say? And you said 5.5. I'm like,
Yes.
we're right
Yes.
there.
We're like, bro, we're right there.
Literally, like,
Yeah.
I think me and Josh had the same score too. I'm just like, dang, we're all
Crush.
having the same scores. I mean, this is good, but like, I wanted a little
Yeah.
pushback or something.
Yeah. Sorry, you want me to change it? I give it a 2.
No, I mean, I still would be perfectly fine. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, 5.5. It has the makings of something that could be good. It definitely is going in a direction that we don't normally see with slashers. But they just need a little bit more sauce in the recipe to make it a little bit better.
More sauce. That pasta's dry, babe.
What is your opinion on them trying to end the movie in a open ending to potentially make Cherry Falls 2?
Bless their heart.
I always wonder when movies do that. I'm just like, did you really think this movie was good enough to potentially make a second one? Like, do it.
Yeah, and this time it's Brittany Murphy's character that's in a wig because now she's crazy and living in the decapitated house.
You made me learn about my father. How dare you? The water is going to turn red at the end. Cherry
so
Falls
bad.
2 is going to be like, Cherry Falls 2, when it's your time of the month. The new killer only goes after girls on their period.
Literally, that's what I saw. I was like, who's in the water? What's happening?
Imagine. It's like, is Mother Nature flowing today? Then you're going to die. Cherry Falls
Dude,
2.
I mean, I gotta give it, you know, fucking Y2K horror is so specific with like the editing and like, I said in my notes, I was like, not the slow-mo and the echoey sound effects of the early 2000s, so stylized, it's kind of annoying.
Definitely is going in a direction that we don't normally see with slashers, but they just need a little bit more sauce in the recipe to make it a little bit better.
More sauce. That pasta's dry, babe.
What is your opinion on them trying to end the movie in a open ending to potentially make Cherry Falls 2?
Bless their heart.
I always wonder when movies do that. I'm just like, did you really think this movie was good enough to potentially make a second one?
Yeah, and this time it's Brittany Murphy's character that's in a wig because now she's crazy and living in the decapitated house.
You made me learn about my father. How dare you?
It's Cherry Falls.
Oh my god.
She's coming for me.
Oh no, the water is going to turn red at the end.
That was
Cherry
so
Falls
bad.
2 is going to be like, Cherry Falls 2, when it's your time of the month. The new killer only goes after girls on their period.
Literally, that's what I saw. I was like, who's in the water? What's happening?
Imagine. It's like, is Mother Nature flowing today? Then you're going to die. Cherry Falls
Dude,
2.
I mean, I gotta give it, fucking Y2K horror is so specific with like the editing and like, I said in my notes, I was like, not the slow-mo and the echoey sound effects of the early 2000s, so stylized, it's kind of annoying. Like, it's just so stylized. Yeah, and then that water was CGI'd for sure. Like, they were like, guys, we can do CGI right now. Should we fucking do CGI right now? And they're like, yeah, let's do CGI. It was so bad.
Did you watch that Y2K movie? Like, the premise is like, Y2K is about to happen, and instead of like all electricity shutting down, it's all technology comes to life and starts trying to kill people.
I love the concept, but I heard it missed the mark.
Yeah, it was definitely better than Cherry Falls, but
How better than Cherry Falls? No fucking way.
it's a tough one. It's tough to do. No, but yeah, it had its entertaining moments. It just wasn't, it was okay. It's pretty good.
Did
Okay.
it have the nostalgia editing style?
It definitely
did.
had a lot of nostalgia. There was like AOL Messenger popping up and like you got mail
Yeah.
and like stuff like there's a lot of nostalgia to be had in the movie. So I liked it. It just wasn't like amazing.
Yeah. Okay, well then maybe I'll put it back on my list. See, that's part of the problem too, is like sometimes I don't have a lot of time in my day to day, so when I do sit down and watch a movie, like I need it to be good. And sometimes with horror it's not. And it's a mixed bag and it is what it is, but like I heard that it wasn't and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But no,
Yeah,
put
no,
it back on.
I always say, and maybe this is controversial, I don't really think it is, but I always say that 90% of horror is garbage. 5% is okay, and then 5% is like amazing. And the reason
Yeah.
why I say that is horror is the most made film genre out there. Like, it's just so easily made. So many indie people are making horror. You're getting so many horror films just pumped out there on Tubi, and just everybody wants to make horror movies. Nobody wants to make comedy movies, drama movies, action movies, sci-fi movies. I mean, you'll get a little bit of that in the indie section, but so many people want to make horror movies. I mean, look at the most recent like movies from like YouTubers, right? Chris Stuckman, what did he make? A horror movie. The Rocker brothers, they just made 2 horror movies back to back. Jordan Peele, who's a comedian, made a bunch of horror movies. You know what I mean? The guy who made Weapons, he's from Whitest Kids You Know, who's a comedian. Horror
Wow.
movie. They all are making horror movies. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when you
Well,
watch them, they're good. Some of them.
Yeah, and it's tough because I mean, obviously we can agree that like some horror movies are objectively terrible. Like the sound design is shit, the storyline's not there. But like if you've got those qualities in a film, horror can be really subjective because it really is like, what do you find terrifying?
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, dolls don't cut it. You know what I mean? So like I don't think dolls are scary, but for someone else, that's something that'll haunt them, So it's like it just depends on like who's talking about it and what it is that really irks them,
Yeah. No, I agree. A take that always gets me caught under fire is, and I know you recently watched it,
What?
but I did not like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
What?
So,
I mean, it is
I'm
so
a,
chaotic.
I'm a huge fan of I think it's the 2003 version
Uh-huh, yeah.
with Jessica Biel. That movie,
Yeah.
that's like my definitive Texas Chainsaw. Because when I think Texas Chainsaw, right, it's greasy, it's slimy, it's gross, it's hot, it's nasty, it's
Yes.
dark, it's scary. The 2003 version is frightening. That dude ripping up that chainsaw, and like just the hot Texas heat, and how like the colors that they use, the lighting that they use in that film, it's scary. Like that shit was frightening. But when I watched the original, I'm like, okay, everyone's saying it's so amazing. I'm just like, this is something, I guess. I don't know. Like I get it. It's not the most common opinion, but it just I get
Listen,
it's old, but
it is old, and you're allowed to have your opinion. And like, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. That movie, the OG, is so it's so loud, it's so disorienting, it's so like all over the place. But like that movie, I think why a lot of people love it is because it birthed a whole new type of horror.
mhm.
And without Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the OG, like we wouldn't have gotten like The Hills Have Eyes or any of those types of movies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's because of what it did. And horror was always so polished, and that movie took you there. Like it
Mhm.
took you in there. I get it. I understand it's not for everyone. Like when I first watched it, I was getting so angry. Like the amount of screaming that takes place in the original, holy shit. Like I had to pause it at one point and like get up and walk around because I was like, how much longer is she gonna scream?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It was just,
But
I don't know,
I mean,
like I think I just have a problem with a lot of older horror films. Like they just don't hit for me. Like there might be some that might be good, but it's just, I don't know. I can appreciate a lot of stuff from the old movie, like the set design. They clearly spent time working on it.
yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know. He's not as scary as the 2003 version. Like he's there, but he's not there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the sound design in the 2003 version. Oh my gosh! Like you do not want to hear a chainsaw after that movie.
No, it's so true. And I think the OG prioritized atmosphere over gore.
hmm
So, and it's funny because I actually rewatched it because I remembered it being so much more violent than it was, and then I watched it and I was like, "Oh no, most of the horror is implied.
hmm
You're not really seeing a lot in the OG." So I think it was really focusing on the atmosphere and the sound design with the chainsaw, and the screaming and the pigs squealing and like all of that. And like I think for that time, the imagination, like I think, people were just coming off of like Psycho and like Rear Window and like all those movies, right, where nothing was really ever shown
hmm
and the imagination took over. Whereas like the version you're talking about, I think is also, when I think about the movies, I think the OG is like the remake, but I think the remake is way more violent, right? They're
Yeah.
showing so much more. They're really going for it. They're giving you what the 70s version maybe at the time wasn't allowed to, you
Or
know?
they didn't have the practicality to achieve that gore that they
Yeah.
wanted to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing I think why I didn't like it as much is because I thought it was going to be more violent, and it just
Mhm.
wasn't there. And I appreciate practical effects in movies, and I love when they get violent. I love seeing people's like shit get ripped off and like chainsaws going through people. Like I just love it. It's just great. And I know some people are like, oh, it's nice when they're dying over there, but you don't have to see it. I'm like, no, I want to see it. It's a horror movie. I want to see it. If this is rated R, I want to see some death. I don't want to see like, oh, they died behind that, and then you see an arm fall out. No, I want to see grah grah grah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you with that. The OG is definitely, I would say, it's like more of a sensory nightmare. Like it's all about the sounds
ASMR.
versus our murder edition. Whereas
Right.
like the remake is more on brand with, slasher. And
hmm
like I'm with you. Like I watched that movie when I was a lot younger, so it definitely hit me a lot more. But I think, yeah, if I were to pop it on now, I don't think I would be as satisfied. You know what I mean?
hmm
Because yeah, like you kind of get a little desensitized to the horror, and you get to a point where you're like, show me the head exploding, babe. I need to see it.
Right. So, what are your top three favorite like genres of horror?
It's tough. Okay, so number one, it always takes the cake, religious. Like anything supernatural and religious leaning. I was raised Catholic, and like I've had some creepy experiences with like, I don't want to say ghosts, but something was like, I just have like memories of just shit kind of being a little weird with, yeah, like ghosts or like demons or something. I don't know. I can't explain it without sounding crazy, but so definitely like religious horror, supernatural horror. And then I love a good zombie movie personally because I love special effects, like practical special effects. I love good creature design. I love like 28 Days Later, Dawn of the Dead, like those movies fucking crush. I love a good terrifying zombie because it feels kind of real in a way, you know, like we're just one scientific experiment gone wrong away from this.
Were you a big fan of the Walking Dead show?
Yeah, I like the Walking Dead show. I was really invested. But then I started, you know, I think like at the time of when it was filming or when I think like the new season was about to come out, I think the writers were going through a writer's strike or something like that. So I knew that following season like wasn't going to be good. So I never finished it. I think I got to like season 4 or something and like
oh dang. That's far behind.
I dropped off. I was like, I don't know. I'm getting a whiff that it's not going to end in a satisfying way. I'm going to jump. Bye. Psychological horror. Because, yeah, like the mind unraveling, people like losing a grip on reality. I think that hits a little close to home because, I don't know, like to lose that function, to feel like you're losing control over your life in that way. Is terrifying. Like that would be my biggest nightmare is to like lose all sense of reality and like have some sort of psychological collapse. That would be the worst thing to happen.
It's good 3.
But then like close 3B, a body horror for sure. I love
3B.
Yeah, 3B baby, body horror. Because you know, I just talked about my love of like gore and shit, and the human transformation. You know, because a lot of it is historical, right?
Did you like The Substance?
Fucking love The Substance. Loved it. Yes. Are you kidding? I watched that. I own it. I watched it 4 times. It's like my comfort movie at this point. Yeah, like that whole movie, like talking about sensory horror. You know, like. Just the sound design, him fucking chewing his shrimp, like it was just so gross and like it made me feel so anxious watching it. So anxious. Like I wanted to like get up and walk around, but I saw it in theaters, so I couldn't. So I was forced to just bear witness to it.
But speaking of psychological, I think would be a psychological horror. It's like psychological thriller horror kind of. Mystery, but have you seen the movie Identity with John Cusack?
Are you kidding? With John Cusack? Yes. That's actually what kind of got me into psychological horror. That fucking twist, so good. Identity, yes. And dude, there was a time where John Cusack was crushing it. He had that movie with Samuel L. Jackson, Room 408.
Yeah, that was a good movie too.
Holy shit.
Can we bring back movies like that? Like, what happened to movies like that? Like, I feel like movies nowadays are not as, like, cool as those movies. Like, we're getting, like, what's that horror movie that they just made, like, 5 bajillion of them at this point? The Conjuring or whatever?
Yeah. You know what it is?
I'm so bored of that. I haven't watched it since, like, the last 3 I haven't watched.
Yeah. You know, it's franchises. You know, these studios want to invest in franchises. They make money, and that's all they care about.
I understand. I totally get like the franchise. Like, it makes sense. Like, if you have a good franchise and like stuff like for example Star Wars, right? That makes sense to make like a lot of movies because you can do a lot of stuff with that. But when you have something like The Conjuring, if you didn't have a plan already to make a lot of movies, and you're just like, oh, what can we come up with next? That's when you know it's time to stop. But if you, like, as a movie creator, you have a plan of, like, hey, if this movie does blow up, like, this is what I can do, A, B, C, D story. Then, cool, push your idea, give me a franchise. But if you are like, oh, this one movie, this will be a one-off, and then it does really amazing, and the studio's like, give us 3 more. It's like, I wasn't planning on giving you guys 3 more. I don't care, 3 more. That's when the franchises start sucking.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think it's funny because I think we're reaching as audience members. I think we're reaching a bit of a fatigue right now. I think we're all kind of feeling like, dude, where are the original fucking stories? Like everyone I talk to is like, can we get an original idea, please? And that's why these, smaller, I hate to say smaller because they're juggernauts, production companies like A24 and Neon that are risking it with these original concepts. And like, yeah, some of it is super avant-garde and weird, and some people may not like it, but like, we need to focus on bigger picture here, which is like they're choosing original stories over franchises that we're all so fucking tired of. So like, you got to give kudos to these companies, but historically, these smaller production companies end up saving horror. It's happened. I'm doing this Nightmare Origins series on my TikTok where I delve into the history of horror, and we're learning that in like the 70s and in the 80s, it's really the independent film production companies that are taking the bigger risks and making the bigger moves and becoming more successful. So I think that's exactly, it's like history has a way of repeating itself. I think that's exactly what's sort of coming around, is that these bigger studios are starting to see like, oh, wait a minute, what are they doing over there? A24, who the fuck are they? What are they doing? Oh, wow, they're taking a risk on a completely unknown like director, and who are these actors? And it's making money. It's like, yeah, because if it's a good idea, it's gonna sell, boo. Like, trust the process, babe. But a lot of these, bigger production companies are scared, and a lot of, like I said earlier, like it's the suits that are making creative decisions, and they don't have a creative bone in their body.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Things they know are gonna work.
Yeah, but the only thing that's unfortunate about whether people like certain stuff that A24 puts out, like you said, it's very avant-garde, some of it, which a lot of people are always like, oh, it's an A24 film, as in they think A24 is making it, which I'm like, no, they're just distributing it, but it's okay. But I just like, I love giving indie films a shot. I love watching so many indie movies, like even though I go to the theater all the time, the thing that always bothers me though is like these horror movies that could be good, they're just missing the mark by just like Cherry Falls, right? They're missing the mark by just this much because I don't know who it was, maybe the screenwriter, but they made a stupid decision in the script that took an idea that was really good and they're just fucked it up at the end. And I'm just like, man, this movie could have been a solid 8 out of 10, but you guys had to do something stupid at the end. Now it's a 6 out of 10. Now I don't really care about it.
I know. And, that makes me wonder, like, because to get a movie made, there's so many cooks in the kitchen making creative decisions. And I wonder, when something goes awry like that in the film, I wonder if it's a suit coming in, or quite possibly like testing. Like a lot of these like movies get tested and then they come back with notes. And so I wonder if it's like there's just too many people trying to make creative decisions and like, let's stay true to the story. And maybe that's what it is. Like, I don't know. But Eli Roth said something really interesting when I went to go and watch the movie Dream Eater, which, by the way, if you haven't heard of it, go check out Dream Eater.
Josh put me on to it last time.
Shit, yes. But so he had said, because the reason why he started his production company, which like every movie that he helps distribute and put out there, he's using his own money. Because his whole thing is like, he's so sick and tired of these people coming in and saying, oh, the audience isn't going to like that, you should just cut that out. Or like, the audience isn't going to like that, go back to the drawing board and like refix it. Or like, oh, like censorship isn't going to approve that, so go and change it. And Eli Roth's whole thing is like, fuck you, fuck the censors, fuck what you think, let the audience choose, put it out there as is. The audience is smart enough, say yes or no, but you're not giving us the opportunity to enjoy the film to its fullest, like to enjoy the original concept of it. And that's disappointing, you know, because you're
Yeah.
right. Like certain things miss the mark. And I always wonder, I'm like, where is it the editing? Was it the writing? What happened? Like
Yeah. Because I mean,
so where did it
in filmmaking, you always have different stages of the movie, and I've seen this from making my own stuff. But you have the film that is the written script, and then the film changes when the director gets a hold of it, and the script is not going to stay the same while they're filming it. You have to make adjustments because maybe the actor comes up with something unique on set, or maybe just something's not working while you're filming it, so the film changes while you're filming it, and then when it gets into the editing bay, the film can completely change when it hits the editing bay. And then we're not even talking about on bigger productions with producers who are then making changes as well, and then like you said, when they're doing test audiences and they're like, well, this isn't testing well, so then they go back into the editing booth and change some things, because the amount of the way that the editing room itself can change a movie so severely is wild. And people really don't understand that. Like, a movie could be the best movie ever and can be completely ruined when it goes to the editing bay.
Yep. And it's so true. Like editors, yeah, like you could make a whole different kind of movie. There's so much power in that editing bay.
I mean, look at the girl on TikTok who is literally taking the interviews from Twilight and clips from the movie and making it seem like a goofy documentary. Like, it's filmed like as if it's like, oh, this is like real vampires, and they're just talking about like, like almost like Parks and Rec or like The Office. And it's like the funniest shit ever. I'm like, please make a whole movie doing this. But it's like so funny, but just the power of editing. It made it look like it's about vampires.
Yeah. I'm sure you've seen it too, like where people turn comedy movies into horror movies, like horror trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did with Mrs. Doubtfire. It's like you could do so much with some re-editing and a different score of music.
Right.
And boom, it's something completely different.
So, we all know you like horror movies, but
no way.
But what other types of movies do you like genre-wise?
I like rom-coms.
Okay, rom-coms.
Rom-coms, and I love a good, I think that's about it. Or like comedies are good. So there are some genres I like sci-fi or like fantasy. Fantasy is a good one. It's kind of funny. Like I'll watch like back-to-back horror movies like Martyrs and like Inside, and then like I'll pop on like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and I'm like, yes, palate cleanser. Like,
yes, queen, say. I'm all over. I will watch literally anything. I just love movies in general, so I'm just give me every type of... The only type of movie I really steer away from are like more political movies. And when I say political, I mean like literally about the government, like where it's like Richard Nixon and like Nixon and Frost or whatever. Like, I did watch it, but it was boring. But like anything that's like dealing with politics, it's just boring. I don't care. It's snooze fest. Or like super period pieces that are just drama. Hard pass. Unless it's like Abraham Lincoln versus Abraham Lincoln zombie hunter or vampire hunter or whatever. Love that. That was great.
I like what is it called? The Three Musketeers that came out like all those years ago.
Yeah, but that one's fun because it's like action, comedy, adventure. Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. That one's fun. It's
love
goofy,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Goofy.
Love Lord of the Rings. Like, I mean, I fuck with Legolas so hard. He's so hot. Yes.
Yes, my elven king. I love the they were talking to what's his name?
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, Elijah Wood. They're like, do you remember never talking like to Legolas? Like, you just never say his name like ever. He's like, yeah. I didn't really notice it when I was filming it, but yeah, you're right. Like, it's a whole run-on thing on the internet where he like never actually knows his name. Like, I forgot what movie it is. I think it's the third movie, but like where they're all coming to see him in the bed, and he's like saying all their names except for his name, and he's just like, "Oh, it's you."
He's like,
the blonde one.
Bow and arrow guy, right?
Hawkeye. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wrong franchise. All right, so it was super fun talking to you. Thank you for coming on for this lovely episode talking about Cherry Falls.
Thank you so much for having me. This was such a blast. And I love that we had the same rating because, like, same, same.
Same Z's.
We love it. Same Z's.
Well, if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that follow button. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. Bye.